Good morning. It's so nice to see all of you this morning for our spring Ohigan service. Welcome to Windward Buddhist Temple. I'm Jennifer Kane. I'm your MC for this morning. We begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or Kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is the calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma or teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seats. We will now have the offering of flowers and light by the children. Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and in English. If there are new people to our service this morning, this can be found in your red Jodo Shinshu service book on page 7.
acknowledge the presence of Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and all the Buddhas of the 10 directions to this service. Namo Amida Butsu. On this occasion of the Windward Buddhist Temple's annual observance of the spring Ohigan, we gathered here together to adorn the shrine of Amida Buddha, to burn incense and chant the sacred writings, and deepen our understanding of the Buddha Dharma. During the spring equinox, when the hours of the day and night are equal, the sun symbolically rises in the east and sets in the west toward the direction of the Pure Land. And so we gather to listen and meditate upon the teachings of the Buddha Dharma as clarified and transmitted to us by Shinran Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Okay. Please turn to page 14 in your purple supplemental book for the Sutra Gassho with Amida.
Then I
Please rise for the recitation of Homages in the red Jodo Shinshu service book, found on page 2. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living in it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear them. If you do not gain emancipation in this present life, we may not be free from ill-faring in the ocean of births and deaths for kalpas. Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live in the life of harmony, in the sweet oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Please continue to stand for the Gatha at our altar in the praises of the Buddha book in page 16. Please be seated. And I welcome to the front Reverend Bert Sumikawa.
Good morning, everybody. I had to sneak in through the back door, you know. Getting crowded out over here. Anyway, this morning I'm so happy to introduce our guest speaker, who is currently the resident minister at Moiliili Hongwanji, where I used to be. But they needed a change, you know. They wanted somebody younger and somebody better looking. So they replaced me with this guy here. So now, don't worry about that, David. Anyway, he went to Hongwanji Mission School and graduated from the very famous Farrington High School. So you better watch out, you know. Better bow down to him, and he's a very dangerous person here. He also graduated from the University of Hawaii with a degree in psychology. And he taught at Farrington High School, in addition to serving as assistant coach for the boys volleyball team, and also as an assistant athletic trainer as well. Later, he worked as an assistant to the director of the Buddhist Study Center in Manoa, and as an assistant chaplain at the Pacific Buddhist Academy, which is a Buddhist high school, the only Buddhist high school in America. And so, interested in pursuing the ministry, then he enrolled in the Institute of Buddhist Studies and received a master's degree there. And after initial ordination of Tokudo and Kyoshi certification, he served at the Hilo Betsuing Puna Hongwanji, and most recently at Moiliili Hongwanji. As I mentioned, now he is at Moiliili. So please welcome Reverend David Fujimoto.
Please join me in a moment of reflection. As I reflect, I find that our attainment of Shinjin arises from the heart and mind with which Amida Buddha selected the vow, and that the clarification of true mind has been taught for us through the skillful works of compassion of the great sage Shakyamuni. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, good morning, everyone. Like Dr. Sumikawa said, I am now at Moiliili Hongwanji. It's been 17 days now, and that means I'm 17 days sober of Starbucks. As everybody knows, I'm a Starbucks junkie. In Mililani, there's 3 of them that I could go to. Moiliili, there's none. Also, I live in a 2-story house, of which I was wondering, you know, at the end of the night, why am I so tired? And I looked at my watch, and I saw there it's like 25,000 steps, and my watch also calculates how many flights of stairs I go up and down. That means in the course of the day, I go up and down the steps 7 times. And I was thinking about it. That is true, because, you know, just this morning, I had to go up and down 7 times because I forgot something, right? So I'm downstairs, I gotta get this. I forgot this. But anyway, thank you for this opportunity to share my thoughts in the Dharma with all of you as we celebrate Ohigan. You know, my profile, I give short ones now because, you know, when I transitioned over from Mililani, my niece was over, and she looked at my profile. She goes, "Uncle, you're such a nerd." So, you know, of course, the only other thing to do is to press delete, 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 and then so you get this kind of summarized profile, and so the rest you really don't have to know about me anyway. So it's great to be able to visit all of you once again, and also see my friends from the Dharma School over at Moiliili Hongwanji. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, that was weird. So, you know, the last time I came, I talked to you folks. I mentioned that you know, Reverend Nakamoto had called me one day and says, "Oh, are you on your way?" I said, "Oh, on my way where? Aren't you speaking here today?" And, "No." "Oh, somebody bought you a lei already." So, okay. So, you know, this time around it was kind of even more weirder because in the transition, we had all the dates and times were mixed up, so had to reschedule and finally make sure I had to come on the right day. So, thank you very much once again for this opportunity. So as you may know, Ohigan, like was mentioned before, coincides with the equinoxes and offers us the opportunity for introspection to contemplate the reality of our very own existence in the here and the now, and the vow of Amida Buddha, which seeks to liberate all of us. I still cannot say this word, so I don't know why I put this, but etymologically, okay, I said it correct, I hope. Higang is kind of like a math equation, right, where everything is equal. Hi, right, refers to the other side, something that's over there, in which something is far removed from both the speaker and the listener. Gang refers to the approach to the shore or the coastline. So higang as a verb is an action in which it refers to our approach to the other shore. Of course, the other shore is that of the Pure Land. So if there is an existence of the other shore, then there must be the existence of this shore. This shore is the world of the unenlightened, the world of delusion where we live in. As a noun, higang means paramita or perfection. Ohigan as a reflective opportunity that offers us the opportunity to nurture our perfection of the paramitas, which when you think about it, is our attempt to approach the other shore in this lifetime. From our understanding, the 6 paramitas encompasses the virtues of the Eightfold Path, and acknowledges the partnership among sentient beings through selfless giving, discipline, patience, endeavor, meditation, and wisdom. Through the practice of the first 5, I believe the final paramita, wisdom, comes naturally, in which through the first 5 we see that we are limited as sentient beings and truly need the help of others and placing our utmost heart to Amida. This is the entrusting heart of Shinjin. When we awaken to that truth, we live a life with and in the expression of gratitude and appreciation. There is so much that we are given in life. We are born as empty slates, and through our own very experiences, the people we meet, and now even social media, ban TikTok, we have our own sets of preconceived notions and ideas. We have self-calculated methods that all have been developed by these outside forces. Nothing is really our own. Buddhism teaches us that we have a simple yet hard job, and that is to make room for what we are given while at the same time build on it or simply let go. We have received so much and yet we are not able to let it sink in and naturally process on its own. So one of the things that I have to do is visit assisted living care homes, and I was telling Dr. Sumikawa, oh, this is kind of sad, nobody's here. So I figure I just go walk around the hallway, make like I lost, and just talk story with people. So I ran into this one person, and we were having a conversation, and at certain points, she was kind of, had dementia, so I started having to answer the same questions over and over. But then at certain points, there were also some nuggets of wisdom here and there. And so she asked me, oh, what high school you went to? I asked her, what school you think I went? And then after a few names, I finally told her, I went to Farrington. And she kind of freaked out. And her eyes was wide open. And so she says, oh, you know what it means to be grateful then? I say, huh? So I asked her what she meant by that. And she says, oh, you in Farrington, so you know people. And I was even more confused. She says, you know the everyday people. Stephen, we know everyday people. Okay. I had to ask because I still confused today. And so she said, it's that kind of people that appreciate all that they have and receive because they don't have much. And I was thinking, wow, that's kind of straightforward. I said, oh, I kind of feel egotistical now. And so while I was letting that sink in, the more I was starting to think about it. Am I truly the person that knew people? Or was I the person that people knew, right? I'm fortunate to have what I have. But my fellow classmates, my students, my student athletes that I help at Farrington, they're not as fortunate. I remember, one night after football practice, I was tired, hungry, grouchy, nothing new. But as I pulled into the parking lot of 7-Eleven, I saw some of our football kids sitting up in the front talking story. Of course, we exchanged our pleasantries, and I went in. I bought myself some food, and I grabbed a few spam musubis and manapuas. I went outside, and at first I wanted to go like that, but no good, right? So I just handed it over to them, and like vultures, they immediately attacked the food as if there were no tomorrow. And when I first started teaching, I was the newbie in the classroom. There were kids that I didn't know. They used to hang around in the classroom during lunch. Many of them didn't eat. And so one day there was a fundraiser in which if you buy pizza, the organization got a percentage. So luckily I had a prep period before lunch. I ordered the pizza, and when the kids came in, I told them to help themselves. In both incidences, I thought back to that of my own notions, that of which for many, especially in the Kalihi area, they are less fortunate than I am. So I can make a difference even in that moment. They could have a hot meal. It's a Nembutsu moment in which, I had the opportunity to build on what I have received and my experiences, and then let go and nurture new experiences. While they may have that sense of appreciation and gratitude, it's at the same time that I nurture a sense of appreciation and gratitude in my own life. As I mentioned, when we awaken to the truth, we live a life with and in expression of gratitude and appreciation. It's in this moment of Ohigan that even in our everyday lives, we have that opportunity to reflect on our very own life. Through karmic conditions, I had the opportunity to meet and to swim with members of the University of California women's swim team. That was not good. I was the slowest one. And also I had the opportunity to talk story with their coach. And since there are several members of them on the U.S. Olympic swim team, they were featured in an ESPN documentary about how they come to Hawaii to train. In that documentary, the coach states, you have to respond to what nature is giving you. Hitting someone, hitting your hand at the bottom. This was referring, of course, to swimming in the ocean. I believe that is what Shinran is trying to teach us. She later states that I think that sports is about looking that person in the mirror, figuring out who that person is, what I want, and where I want to go. And sometimes that scares the heck out of us. Shinran tells us that living the life through the primal vow of Amida Buddha allows us to do that. That is, discover who we really are and not who we have to be or want to be. And helps us to triumph all of life's difficulties and realize happiness in our everyday life. When you think about it, when we experience life's ups and downs, learn and deal from them, and understand that this is a gift from the Buddha to all of us, then really the byproduct of that learning moment is and becomes a happy and fulfilling life surrounded by infinite wisdom and compassion. Learning experiences always occur in life whether we know it or not. When you think about it, that is the working of Amida Buddha's primal vow. Through the unwavering faith in infinite wisdom and compassion, we are able to live life full of appreciation and gratitude when we realize our Bombu selfish nature. We live a life of freedom, but with the understanding that there are consequences for our bad actions. So out of that understanding, we seek to be mindful in our words and our deeds, be responsible citizens of our society, and share with others the true and reality of Jodo Shinshu. The Buddha says, your suffering is my suffering. Your happiness is my happiness. Just as Buddha does not forget that very spirit even for a single moment, for it is the nature of Buddhahood to be compassionate. We therefore come to the realization that the Buddha's compassion arises out of our very needs. And so when you think about it, what is our needs? We are foolish beings. We are always getting upset when we don't get our way or we don't get our Starbucks, or having to live in that real world versus the pretend world. You and I are not any different. I am just as ego-driven, ignorant, and foolish. Although I don't like to admit that, I like to blame others for it, especially for my limitations. Many of us like to live in that pretend world where everything goes our way and we seem to be the hero in many stories. However, we unfortunately have to live in the real world, one that is full of greed, anger, suffering, and ignorance. We really don't want to live in that world where it takes us out of our comfort level and we seem to have a terrible time in accepting our role in this world, especially because we don't get things we want. Worst of all, instead of the hero, we become that anti-hero. The Buddha wanted to understand our role in this real world. He wanted to find out why we live in this real world and why we are so much wanting to live in the pretend world. For many years, he sought answers to the questions, but didn't seem to find them in the conventional manner in which was accepted in his days. Finding that fork in the road, he made up his mind that he would not leave sitting under the Bodhi tree until he found the answer. There he sat perched under the tree in meditation for over 40 days. Finally, he found what he was looking for. In the beginning, I used the words of Shinran, so let us hear it once again. As I reflect, I find our attainment of Shinjing arises from the heart and mind with which Amida Buddha selected the vow, and that the clarification of true mind has been taught for us through skillful works of compassion of the great sage Shakyamuni. The heart and mind of the Buddha is truly that. The skillful working of great compassion of Shakyamuni Buddha. Through that we know that, as I mentioned before, that when we awaken to the truth, when we have that entrusting heart, we live a life with an expression of appreciation and gratitude. There is so much that we are given in life, but nothing is really our own. We have a simple yet hard job, and that hard job is to make room for what we are given, while at the same time building on it or simply letting go. We have received so much, yet we are unable to just let it sink in and naturally process on our own. That Nembutsu moment goes by so fast that sometimes we don't even notice it. It is truly in these moments like Ohigan that we are able to take that opportunity to grasp at those moments and truly acknowledge it. And what comes of it is that moment of appreciation and gratitude for the life that we have. So once again, thank you very much for this moment to share with all of you my thoughts on the Dharma and nurture yet more Nembutsu moments in your life. So please join me in a moment of reflection and devotion as I end. In order to reach the other shore, one does not have to wait for the end of one's life. We can reach the other shore right now by hearing and entrusting in the Buddha's vow and allowing Buddha's energy to fill our hearts and minds with wisdom, compassion, and thoughts to help us transcend the ordinary. In the great expanse of life, today, this one of many days, I'm trudging along my karmic path, bathed in the infinite light and compassion. What a fortunate being I am. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Fujimoto Sensei. Please rise for the Gatha Flying Free, which is found on the handout you received entering the temple. Continue to stand for the Nembutsu, which is found in the red Shodo Shinshu Service book on page 135. Please be seated. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got so caught up in that song. I'm sorry. Please stand for the Nembutsu. Thank you.
reflection into relationships, happiness, thankfulness, and meaning, while bound to our personal karmic influences, we are endowed with a life of continuing Nembutsu moments, a life of thankful awareness of the interconnection of all life. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda.
Please be seated. Thank you. That's the conclusion of our Ohigan spring service this morning. And I call to the front our temple president, Dennis Tashira.
Good morning, everyone. This is such a big crowd. I have quite a few thank yous. Well, first of all, thank you, Reverend David, for your very good speech on our Ohigan service. Thank you, Reverend Bert, Reverend Barbara. Thank you, Jen, for being our MC. Alan, who was a greeter, and Ryan does all our recording of our services. If you don't know, you can find our services on YouTube, or you can go to our website. I also want to thank our friends from Moiliili Hongwanji for coming. I don't know the names, so can I ask everyone associated with Moiliili Hongwanji, please stand and welcome to Windward Buddhist Temple. Thank you. And we have two other guests, friends of Richard's, I think. Manabu and Yuji Fujimura from Japan. Welcome. Aloha. Okay, next Sunday we won't have a service here at the temple. Instead, our Sangha will be participating in the Hawaii Betsuing's Spring Bazaar. The bazaar will run from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And several of us will be gathering this week to prepare takuwang, bitter melon namasu, a bunch of manju, some mochi, other pickled items. But there will be a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you can make it, please come to go to the Betsuing next Sunday, again, 8:30 to 1 o'clock. Our next service here will be Sunday, March 31st, and it'll be our monthly remembrance service. If you would like to remember a loved one who passed away in the month of March of any year, you may do so during this remembrance service. We'll have a list so you can add the name of your loved ones. And if you have a picture, you're welcome to bring it to be placed up here. Then in April, the first Sunday in April, April 7th, there won't be a service. Instead, you're encouraged to attend the Hawaii Buddhist Council Joint Buddha Day service. It'll be at the Soto Mission, Hawaii on Nuuanu Avenue. The service will start at 9:30 a.m. You can find more information about the Buddha Day service, also known as Hanamatsuri or Flower Festival, on the flyer that's posted on our bulletin board. Let's see, we will have our own Buddha Day service on Sunday, April 14th, the second Sunday. Regarding the joint Buddha Day service, the Hawaii Betsuing choir will be performing, and they're looking for volunteers. So anyone from Windward would like to participate, please see me. I have the music. I believe it's two Gathas. If I can sing, anybody can sing. Okay? And a reminder to those who signed up for gardening classes, we start today at 2 o'clock. Okay. announce, I got to make sure I got this right. So, because we're preparing all the food for the Spring Bazaar, next week, Saturday, Reverend Bert will have his usual Sutra chanting session. That'll be from 9 to 10. But the adult Dharma class will be canceled this week. Then the following Saturday, what Saturday is that?
Cancel everything.
Yeah, the following Saturday, both the Sutra chanting and the class will be canceled. I hope I got that clear. Okay, our spring food drive, one of 2 food drives we do a year, starts today. It's to benefit the Hawaii Food Bank, and it will end on April 21st. There are collection boxes outside our office. Your donation of non-perishable food items would be greatly appreciated. Let's see. After this service, after you have your refreshments, we're going to have a special activity. Normally this is our Dharma School Day, but we'll be doing something after the refreshments. Prudence will share information about it.
Good morning. Now, welcome to the Moiliili folks. As you can see, our temple is very small. So we have refreshments there. So usually our Dharma class, we have about 6 kids. And we take them out when we have the Dharma Talk. But for today, because we have such a large crowd, instead, after refreshments, I'll set up tables in the back. And I have 2 activities for the children and the adults as well. So talking about Hanamatsuri, I have a picture Hanamatsuri, Hanamido that they can work on. And then for the older students as well as the adults, I don't know if you've done string art, but we'll do that. Okay? So have your refreshments and then we'll come back in this side and I'll have the table set up. Thank you.
For those who are not familiar with the kind of activities that Prudence comes up with, they're good fun. So eat your food fast. Be aware. Come over when Prudence calls you, and I think you'll all have fun. Any other announcements? Any announcements from Moiliili? Okay, then it's time to eat. Let's do our words of thanksgiving, found on page 126 of the Red Service book. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddha's compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you, everyone.